What's up, podcast? This is the Tricast Experience. I'm your host, Rob Davidson.
What's up, Tricast?
What's up, Tricast?
Not What's Up Podcast. It's What's Up, Tricast. This is the experience.
That's absolutely.
Boom!
What's up, Tricast? This is the Experience. I'm your host, Rob TD, and this is
Will Higley.
And we are interviewing Q Houston today. Today we talk about music industry, creation, distribution, speaking your truth, and changing the world.
From the time while I'm stumbling, I'm all with my G's, I don't see where you coming in. My bank account bubbling, 6 figures on the couch and a 12 gauge under it. I came right in front of it, and a handheld cannon on my waist, let me tuck it in. Whatever you do, I can double it. Whatever I do in a day, you will have years of trouble with. Wait for the next one to be the best. Automatic tech aiming at your head, may you rest.
Q, tell me a little bit about yourself.
As obvious as it can be, I was born in St. Louis, born and raised. Family of, I think it's 8 of us. So my dad has 2 children on his side, and there's 4 of us on my mom and dad's side. So I'm the oldest child of one set and the youngest of another. So, the middle child of another, actually. So I see a little bit of both worlds with that. Yeah. Dude, that song hit me great because of that, man. I'm like, damn, boy. Like, he's he's just sitting there just following me, like, okay. Like, kind of getting that. But, I've been doing music for about, music's been a part of me my whole life. I just wasn't conscious of it till about, 7 years ago, I want to say.
Okay.
I think it was a Nelly verse that got me interested into actually rapping. But the lyricism and the actual content of me making music, it didn't come to about 4 years ago when I realized how important it was to do music with content. And so I like to just say, I tell people the honesty. I'm like, I've been doing it for 7 years, but I resurrected 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. And all my music from then literally does not sound the same at all. So it just depends how you look at it. But I've been through a couple of labels. I actually organized my own organization at one point called Coalition, collective of authentic, legendary individuals transforming into one nation. That was an abbreviation for Coalition.
How long did that take you?
10 minutes. I'm not shitting you. It actually came out in a freestyle.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's very real.
That's some, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know where it came from, but I was spitting and I'm just like, that's it right there.
That's the one.
That's Coalition.
Yeah, that's lit. I love that.
And we went our separate ways with that one. Coalition is really honestly a heart.
Yeah.
A heart-to-heart thing. It's whoever, the artist that grew up in the neighborhood, pretty much is what it is. You can't, once you win Coalition, you can't leave, but it's not like a contract in it.
It's just like the friend you don't talk to for
exactly.
6 months, but you hang out again and you're like,
and it's
the cadence hasn't changed.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty much what that is. And then with the falling of Coalition came the rising of Kill 'Em All. And with Kill 'Em All, it basically is just the core of 2 people who've been through the exact same thing, trying to build an organization. And eventually a label, and eventually, and just keep going from there.
And what's with both kind of Kill Them All and then kind of your music career, what's your end goal? What do you want out of everything?
Oh, it's such a narrow question. I don't know, man. I'm hungry. I just know that, there's a whole buffet in front of me right now, and I'm just ready to eat. So whatever I like the best, I'm going to just pick it from there. But
now I'm hungry too. Thanks.
Tacos.
Thanks.
Tacos. But no, he actually kind of brought that to my attention too about that. We really just 2 totally different people coming together with the same experiences. And at the end of the day, that was really I think that was the end goal right there. The end goal was to start. Mm. You know what I mean? From that point on, I didn't have any set goals or step by steps I really wanted. Everything kind of just fell into place. And so Webster Groves helped me.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, it helped me with a lot of the experiences and stuff I talk about now.
How much because like Webster Groves, just kind of saying like a neighborhood helped you. Like, what was that?
So if you want to take the South Side, right?
Yeah.
And you want to take Ladue, and you want to take Baldwin, and you want to take Wellston, and put it all in one neighborhood, you would get Webster Groves.
I feel you. Okay.
You know what I mean? And there's even the split division in that neighborhood of the train tracks. And
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And so
right
when
there by what is that? That wine? It was like it's a wine place, right? It's Crush Red, isn't it? Crush Red. I feel like it's
the
Crush
wine
Red.
place.
It's right by the train tracks there.
You talking about
when you go up the hill?
Yeah,
the train
yeah,
tracks.
definitely. Okay, yeah. So you hit. Okay.
And then they get that like little pizza place that's across the street.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think that's Jet's Pizza.
Jet's Pizza, yes sir.
Ooh.
So
Dude, you said you're hip, bro. You're hip, bro. That's pretty cool.
You're hip, man.
This is Big Break, guys.
Little
This
big
is where you
Rob.
get the confetti and shit, and you just get all the crowd.
That's it.
Oh yeah, but being there definitely helped a lot of my content and what I talk about.
Like, what about the community gets synthesized into?
Because it's
what
very
you do going
well.
forward?
I've been told that I'm very diverse. You know what I
Okay.
mean? And it only makes sense because that's what the neighborhood was. You know, the neighborhood was extremely diverse. We dealt with everything, man. There'd be one of our best friends, man. His parents hated us. You know, they hated. It wasn't even like I honestly, it wasn't even a racial thing. It was a class thing at that point. Because, like I said, it was a very diverse neighborhood, honestly.
Well, I mean, dude, you mix that many different people, and like the neighborhoods that you just listed off, right?
Right. It's all different.
For anybody that doesn't know those neighborhoods, that's pretty much from one end of the race and class and
to the
vibe
and everything.
Yep.
To the other end.
Exactly. All combined.
Yeah, because like
together as one,
Baldwin
right?
kids don't roll the same way that Webster kids roll. Like it's a
I
little
can't.
bit
Yeah, I
different.
have to agree with that. Because like it's like
I also think of like Ladue just golf.
Yeah, Ladue
yeah,
was
that's
like,
what
no
I'm
one even
saying. But
wants
like
to talk about that, yeah.
those kids, like they were out there. Like they those same people. Like we would go to $1 billion mansion across the way. You know what I'm saying? Then we walk right back to my house, and you know what I mean. My house was trash at that time. Like, so it was just like. The only thing I got, like the main thing I got out of that was like the diversity and just overall.
You seen it, feeling it, yeah.
That scenery like it really helped me. I used to like even in the last little EP I dropped, Eulogy. It was basically just like the side of me that hated it and just hated everything about it, and then put it all in one project. And I haven't really been able to recover from that project yet, but it still like pinpoints like what was going on, man.
Yeah.
Even the good parts, like. It was just pinpointing all of it. Like I go out to other neighborhoods and I'm like, man, like I feel so left out. Even though it's a whole bunch of black people there, a whole bunch of white people there, like I'll feel so left out either or because I'm like,
family isn't
I
skin
know.
color.
That's it's essentially what I'm getting at because it's like I don't know just this. I don't know just that. You know what I mean? Like I don't think I really want to. I just want to take the pieces.
You know
that
the
fit
guys
me.
I used to roll with, like they
Yeah,
don't,
yeah,
dude, they don't
definitely, man.
reflect
Yeah,
at all
exactly.
like where
Like
I
how-
came
yeah,
from. But it's just
exactly.
like when you learn that being a part of the bigger thing is better than being a part of just a little thing. Like it just kind of messes you up.
yeah.
Like you can't like go back and fit into the puzzle anymore.
But I just tell you one thing, man. I wouldn't ever want to go back.
Yeah, 100.
It's-
You don't want to, but like just because you can't doesn't mean you're going there,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like it's just it's just like it doesn't. You like it's like wearing shoes that are too small.
Yeah, like you can. Yeah, you
If-
can wear 'em, like.
Rob's been there.
It's like
They were sparkly high heels.
that's
too.
right.
Oh,
That was a fun shoot.
Fun fact. Yeah, but overall, man, it's like that's pretty much what made me. I sometimes I hate to admit it, just because all the weird toxic stuff that kind of went on there, and I can't sit there and act like I wasn't a part of that. You know,
No, but-
I'm a product of my environment.
But like value is forged in fire. So like
Yeah.
that was the real experience that then helped you evolve
Yeah.
into.
And so it's always love being shown. I used to always talk, oh, I can't wait to get out of here. I'm gonna get big. And
Can't wait
talk
to make
all-
it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna get big and like, man, I hate Webster. I don't. And then the second I got out of there, I'm like, oh no.
I miss my home.
Yeah, like that's literally me. I'm basically just saying like, get rid of myself by saying get rid of that neighborhood. But again, like that's not a part of me I'd want to go back to. I'd visit, but I hate it if I stay back there. Because at that point, when you get out of that core bubble, from that point on, like you uncomfortable. You always want to be on like kind of like on the move, which is unhealthy at certain times, but it's a part of growth. Like,
well, and also kind of depends on the kind of like what makes you happy. Where do you find your place?
Yeah,
like,
that's true. That actually sounds
like
because you have people who are very like nomadic. Like me, I'm like
sharks will be sharks, and then groundhogs will be groundhogs.
Yep.
I know that you just came out with the city, which is kind of from your collective Kill 'Em All.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Could you walk me through that a little bit?
Yeah, I can actually talk about how we started it too.
That's awesome.
So Mikey Buzzkill went to he's like the producer of Kill 'Em All, right? He had went to this I want to say this little thrift store.
Okay.
I wish he was here to tell you the full story, but a situation happened in that thrift store where he saw racial profiling in the thrift store, whatever, right? Not gonna get to too many details, but he came back and apparently it was enough for him to make a beat about it. So anger is fuel, like it's for creativity.
Definitely.
So real tense that day, you know what I mean? Like, cause he kind of an asshole. Don't tell him I said that, but he's a genuine, good-hearted person. So like, he's he's just sitting there like no talking to nobody, just doing his thing and shit, right? So I look over, finally just ask him like, bro, like what's going on? Like what's up? As he's playing this beat, and as he's telling me what happened at that thrift store, I literally just stopped him. I started writing about the city, and it talks a lot of stuff about like Eric Garner and actually there's a situation where I even posted that Eric Garner thing, and I got negative remarks on Facebook.
Wow.
So I mentioned that in there, and then I mentioned also like our intentions of Kill 'Em All in the first place, because Kill 'Em All from the jump is like what do you kill all of what, you know what I mean? But the acronym for it is just knowledge, integrity, live, and love. So any flaws, any type of negative influences, you don't kill just one of them, kill them all. Yeah. So basically that's
Can you walk me through that one more time?
So knowledge, integrity, live, and love.
I love that.
Dude,
Those
I
are the four
absolutely
elements
love
for
that.
me.
That is amazing.
So that whole acronym is playing through my head when we did the city.
Know them all.
And the city actually was supposed to make the album, but if you listen to the album, it does not fit.
Okay.
So we used it as a way of just marketing the project,
articulating your central message.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Kind of thing.
So I really want to talk about part 2 right now. But I'm still on the city, so
just give like a little teaser, right?
Okay. So
you got to plug, man.
Plug part 2 without saying anything about it.
If you look at part 1, part 1 is like, for me, the representation of part 1 was this necklace I used to have. I got it at the Lou Fest, and it was this bullet necklace, and it just warrior spirit, like I'm ready for whatever, right? And part 2, if I can find it, is a little bit less aggressive, and the aggression is not like, it's really retaliation. It's not even like, it's just like what a cause and effect type of thing, So part 2, if I can find it.
Take your time.
2 hours later.
Part 1 was the bullet necklace, and part 2 is this. And I haven't made it yet, but it'll be this symbolization here. I can't explain what it means yet.
Okay.
Okay.
Because we haven't even talked about what part 1 is.
Hold it up to the camera so you can see it. Like.
Oh yeah. So the representation of each album that I have with Kill 'Em All is through a necklace.
Okay.
So I thought that was pretty cool. And the city, honestly, that was when I looked down. I'm like, this is what Kill 'Em All is about. Because I had that necklace for about 2 years, and from that 2 years I had this really like warrior fighter spirit, not necessarily physically, but I wasn't.
Like
if no was the answer and I needed a yes, I wasn't taking no for an answer. You know what I mean? So, with that representation, like it really helped the project more.
So like, when it comes to the story of the city, how do you see that kind of interlaced, both with kind of this warrior spirit as well as kind of the bigger message of the collective?
So so that's a good question actually, because with warrior, people think warrior means just strictly physical fighting. You know, that a fighter spirit is different than a warrior spirit. A warrior spirit has tactics. They have strategic manners besides just physical. So, you know, and this is music. You know, so if I can't just go beat up the government because I have a problem with them. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
Not that I would anyway, but I'm saying that.
But
there's
I see like that's how kill 'em all within the acronym then comes into play of like your warrior spirit is coming through how intense that you're living.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
how you live is with pursuing knowledge, having integrity, living and loving.
Yeah, exactly, man. You nailed it. Right in that shit.
Rob does that like a lot.
Like it's like, all right, well, I'll see y'all later. Like
the last,
y'all get the point.
The last podcast that we did, Rob asked me to give like, you know, some touch points on what we were talking about and the intro and all of that. And so I summed it up in probably about a paragraph. And then Rob comes in and says one sentence. And that was the end. Like, it was done. It summed up everything.
Sitting there in silence, like, all right. Well.
Everything I struggled to say in an entire paragraph, Rob just does beautifully in one sentence.
It's like...
Bro, you should like...
It's like Emerson, the old author. It's like kind of
like,
like that crystal.
write-
You gotta
write
let the
EPKs
world
for
pass
people.
through you, right? And then you can let your truth actually be fully personified through what you've experienced.
That reminds me of that is that Albert Einstein that said that the an intelligent mind or something is able to take the most like abstract thing and simplify it.
Yeah.
And that's that I love that so much. I love that. Like I'll be watching, dude. I look at other art like Kendrick's EPK.
Yeah.
It is super short and sweet. You know what I mean? Like if you look at our EPK, it's not like that because we definitely we are branding as we speak. You know what I mean? So we trying like our hardest to like really get the grip of what we are before we can just say, hey, all right, this is.
But like going into that cave and finding yourself is a deeply spiritual and like real process that is so important to the creative output. That like understanding yourself and your own soul is what then gives you the foundation to build something on top of that.
Definitely. That's so true. See, nail it again.
I'm sorry.
I'm just like,
you know what? Let's just
Will get involved.
I'm just like,
No,
so
we need
I
that.
I almost want to go back just a little bit to you finding inspiration and the story behind your music, because what you just said is absolutely insane, right? And it's like, so not being a musician myself, but being kind of in business, you know, I have my inspirations for the things that I do, you know, my fuel, and you have your fuel as well. But like I think that's insane that you take that fuel and go and make music, right? And especially because that fuel was anger.
It was negative.
Yeah, a lot of it is not. It doesn't come from a good happy place, you know. I can't speak too highly on part two about that. I need to stop talking about it. But I can't speak too.
Stop talking about part two.
All right. I just love. We're working on it now, so I'm just like
it's fresh in your mind.
Yeah, exactly.
So
So
this was like part of the creative process. Is like you embody what you're making.
Yeah, exactly. So but I'm trying to just keep it one at a time. But
what would you say the big difference is between 1 and 2? That like you want the audience to take away from that.
It is literally, it's just the content. Like, okay, so with
everything's different.
It is because like part 1 is more like if you listen. I got snippets on the website. If you listen to it, it's like, why is the system like this? And then as you go on, it's like, why am I like this? And then it's like, what should I do to fix it? That's the question.
Oh, you're
so
like...
you see how it's going more personal?
Oh, no.
Yeah, and so part 2...
It's almost like prison literature of that, like, really quiet conversation.
Yeah. And so that's really what... And honestly, none of it was thought out. That's what I love about it.
Just like creates itself, and that's what it becomes.
Exactly. I just roll with what's going on. I'm like, okay, I see this, and this is the next outlet. I'm not sitting here, like, with a whole board, like trying to connect. No, it's none of that at all. Like I let the music speak, you know.
But like that's the creative.
Yeah, exactly.
It comes out, and then all of a sudden, like you want your audience to be the crazy guy with the board, right?
Right. Exactly.
I see everything now.
That's what it turns out into doing. And like the more I see people doing it, the less I want to give answers, you know. And like
because like at the end of the day, when it comes to like telling truth, it's like it has to be experienced. Like when you speak it so concentratedly, like people can't hear it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Because
so,
like you can only really experience life from your own perspective. So someone else just emptying out their soul is
that's
just
why
like,
a lot of I don't know who has the truth, but I know a lot of artists say stuff that I'm looking for, and they don't say the full thing. You know,
no.
they literally just give you pinpoints. And
But
like,
I think that's what everything is,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's like there is an absolute truth, but all of our personal relative truths
yeah,
make
exactly.
up part of that
whole
greater
entire
whole,
one, yeah.
right? Like you can balance both a postmodern way of thinking of like everything is relative with there is actual good values that we need to be pushing ourselves towards. Like there's a way of being, just like you in this situation, right? You took a racial profiling situation, which can turn out to be a horrible, horrible situation so quickly in this day and age, and you synthesized it with yourself, and your output was then
my
positive.
biggest thing that I was nervous about was going out of character in that process. And what I mean by that is like, because that stuff can definitely trigger. Everybody's like, oh, that, you know how you have that nice dude and then he gets triggered and it's like he goes out crazy.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, see, that's how he really is. That's never the case. That's out of character stuff, you know, because they don't know how to react to irrational situations. It makes them act irrational. So with him telling me that, I'm like staring at him like, oh, and I just like literally stopped. I'm like, all right, bet. And immediately like it just started hitting me what I was gonna talk about. And I don't know, like there's been so many killings, and for some reason the Eric Garner one was the one that really kind of got to me. And it's not a coincidence because now we just noted that the dude got
Exonerated?
He's not what's the term for that?
I'm
man?
actually not familiar enough with the case.
With the Eric Garner, basically what happened was he was getting restrained or whatever for some strange reason, and they choked him, and he had asthma, and he ended up dying.
Oh my god!
And it was basically an unnecessary cause and stuff, you know. Maybe because I got asthma. I don't know. I don't know, man. But like there's been tremendous amount. I remember like the whole Mike Brown situation. Like,
that shook the city.
Yeah.
Well, I was living in Normandy, which was about a 10-minute streak right from there.
Yeah.
And all of our family, to get to our family, I don't even know the streets, but we got to go down this long ass main
No, I
road,
feel you,
and then
like,
we make
up
a
in
right,
Forest,
and then
yeah.
all of that is right there
Yeah.
from the store,
Yeah.
and all that's right there, right? And I was just thinking, I'm like, bro, like I wanted to go to my family house that day. Like it literally could have been like, I don't know, man. You just never know what happens, like. And that's like the whole ripple effect on situations.
Oh,
so
yeah.
that really was haunting me because I was really getting into that at that point too.
And then you start to see things line up, you know, and
Yep.
then like once you start tracking the synchronicities, you're saying, oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, and it almost makes me
Okay.
look crazy, you know what I mean? So
Oh yeah, but like I think at the end of the day, like what that is just like you're quiet up here, and like you see the path you need to be taking, and life is just like laying it out in front of you. And, you know, maybe it's not here the place to have a conversation about what's laying that out.
right.
But at the end of the day, that's your real experience. And that just further amplifies everything you do.
Yeah, because all of that led to this. You know what I mean? Like, what if I wasn't living in St. Louis? Would this have an effect? Like, would any of that affect me as hard? You know what I mean? I wouldn't know. Like, obviously, it didn't face up Rocky. He didn't live in St. Louis, and the first thing he was like, I haven't experienced any of that. You know what I mean? It's like I live in Beverly Hills. Yeah, you know what I mean? So like it was just more like I don't know. Like I feel kind of grateful, but it sucks so bad. But it's almost like grateful that I was in this city to to be able to experience it and help tell the world like, look, man, like.
And I mean, like that going into your music and that like helping to lead you into a direction. Like, yeah, you know, it does suck. But I see what you mean by grateful for it, you know?
Well, you gotta like, it's crazy to like actually like articulate it, but it's just like you literally just have to turn it into like what you're made out of. Exactly.
And that's kind of where we at right now. I even saw that J. Cole was, he had his entire documentary on the For Your Eyes Only. I think like the third scene he was in Ferguson.
Yeah.
And he's walking, he's asking this dude, he's like, where the tree at? Where the tree at? And the dude thought that he was talking about weed for a second. He was like, I ain't got none. He's like, no, where's the tree?
Welcome
the
to St. Louis.
Tree. Yeah, exactly. Well, the crazy part is that the dude that he ran into, and I know a natural situation when it happens, man. And he ran into Mike Brown's cousin.
Oh, snap.
Yeah,
There you
and
go.
like I could tell because like the whole time like it wasn't like it was like it looked like such raw cuts, you know.
Yeah.
And so like for him to come over here and now he saw like
No, it was
that
totally
happened.
just like his homie capturing the
Yeah.
footage. That was just
Yeah,
like,
it just so happened to be because they
Yeah.
could have been they probably weren't even going to use that if they ever ran into him because he just looking around for the tree and stuff and they like okay this is not as informative, but he just so happened to run into his cousin.
That's crazy.
Yep, he showed him the last text message that he ever saw, like the day before he died or something like that. And that last text message was, "I'm gonna make the world be known, or I'm gonna make me be known, or something like that." It was pretty deep, man.
Dang.
And so, yeah, like, and the only reason why I mentioned J. Cole is because now, like, he has the opportunity to share that to the world. Now people like really, really.
So the city, is that St. Louis specifically? Or is that more of a cultural...
Honestly, if it was St. Louis specifically, I would have probably mentioned Mike Brown. You know what I mean? But
it's a little bit more ethereal than that.
yeah, and so I just use a lot of stuff that happens in the city. Like even the last bar I say is living up out of my jurisdiction gave me a motive to live out my city limits and show y'all love from a distance. So I was like basically like still admiring the fact that I was in that city, but I had to go out. Like it's not just for my city no more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm using what happened in my city and branching it out. You know what I mean? And it's not just St. Louis, but I live in St. Louis. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Detroit, a Big Sean was like, what happened in St. Louis happened in Detroit 600
St. Louis is
times.
ground zero.
Yeah, exactly.
But that doesn't mean that's where it's limited
Exactly. And that's when I peeped that. I was like, okay, I can't have this album just be a city album. Like I'm gonna represent my city from it, but I can't just have it be a local album, you know. And so like that's why we really like want to just travel, man, and push it. We'll hobo it out.
So,
or whatever,
like-
but I don't care.
What's the... Like, if you had to grab someone on the street and shake this message of the city into them in 5 seconds, how would you say it?
I would say I would literally do some woke shit. I'd be like, the truth is a mirror. What you see in that mirror, you know what I mean? It'd be like that, but like that's really how. Or I'll probably give them the Dragon Ball theory. Like the Dragon Balls are just there.
Yeah.
Nobody touches them, nothing happens to them, right? But let's just say that I want to dictate and I want to take over that world. You know, I take over the world and all this stuff. I'm gonna take those Dragon Balls and get that wish. Or I'm like, man, I want to like replenish the plants or something like that. I'm gonna use these wishes to replenish. It just depends on who's holding that, because a lot of people hear that and they get offended.
Philosopher's Stone, same concept.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah.
That's great. That's great.
No, but it's... I think what you're saying, you're articulating is the human potential.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, literally.
Of the being a catalyst of change.
Yep.
And whether or not, because we all have the responsibility in ourselves, are we pushing the world a little bit toward heaven or a little bit toward hell?
Exactly. And that's basically like, it's just that. So, I don't know. That's really what I would just say is I would literally just, if I would just show them a mirror and keep walking. That's probably what I would do. And just plant that seed there. Like this, if you want to hear it, I'll let them listen to the song. And I'm like, okay, so what's the essential message?
The unreflective life is not worth living, right?
Yeah.
So like what you're shaking the world up for a reason, right?
And I think Volume 2 will explain that reason a little bit more in depth. But right now, it's just a bunch of questions like why? You know what I mean? Like why?
So that must mean like the whole collective, Kill 'Em All, right? That must mean like your guys' natural cadence is really, really thoughtful and really, really insular.
Yeah, well, it's really just us studying ourselves though. Like, cause a lot of stuff just happens, and we're like, okay, so this happened. Okay, so that's why we did this, cause that, you know what I mean? Like, even the start of the project, like I was telling you earlier, like this is kind of off topic, but like I wasn't even going to start making music. I was about done with that, yo. Actually, man, that eulogy video was probably my last mark. At that point, like I did that, and after that, I was like, I don't know if this is for real for me, because like the world is getting corrupted, and like I'm starting to see how like music or the music business is really just a marketing tactic or a marketing tool rather than actual like a concept that people want. You know what I mean? So I was like, at that point, I was having low hopes. I'm like, bro, I don't even know. Like, I'm starting to look at Zoomies as a life. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm gonna just work there. And Mikey called me. He's like, bro, let's just work, man. Let's do some stuff. And I did it. And yeah, man, from that point, I was like, okay, so the reason why I wasn't able to have no music now is because I was recharging for this. Oh, but in between time, all this was happening to me that had nothing to do with music. Okay, bet. Yeah, I want to do that. You know what I mean? So I just went into the project. And that's all it was. So like now, like I don't have anxiety no more when I don't have when I'm not as like, when I have a creative block, I don't get anxiety no more about it. I used to big time.
It's more of just like what will come will come.
Yeah, exactly. So like if I'm not, maybe me in between time of the next album, maybe it'd be 2 years, and in that time I could sit around and wait for that album to come, or I could use that momentum and do something totally different.
Build the foundation for like
so,
what the music's gonna be built into, kind of.
And I'm already having ideas, man. Like I mean, long-term movie, like like movie companies and all that. Sounds great, of course. But I have so many great movie concepts, man. And
sick.
I mean, even outside the entertainment, like. After school programs and I don't know, just building a school or something. I need something youthful, like really, man, because that was like my favorite job I ever had was working at the after school program, ever.
Really?
Even more, I like it. It's like competing with music, but music it's given me to new levels. So now I can't really compare them no more.
What about that experience really drives it for you?
Don't judge a book by its cover. Dumb kids know. You know, those kids don't understand, but they know. And when I saw that, like, I really saw the potential of how, like, of the power we have, you know what I mean, and influence. Because I swear, I told a kid, I was like, dude, that's weird. And that thing kind of made him like, weird, you know, like, what is weird? So I had to explain to him, like, weird is good, you know what I mean? So it was that time to plant a seed. Mm-hmm. And that was, like, my favorite thing about it was, like, I was able to plant seeds, but I had to be careful because of their lifestyle wasn't the same as mine. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I had to be careful of what seeds I was planting in their heads. And I think with, like, the right person with the right heart, like, they could really, like, help plant seeds, man.
Yeah.
So that honestly, to be 100, I'd probably, if I could choose, after I, like, set in stone, like, each and every platform I want to be on, from like the kids to like the movies to like the music. If I could choose one, I probably would go with the kids.
See, and I think that's really interesting, man, because being a teacher myself, like, you totally can plant the seed. Yeah. You know?
And you don't even realize it half the time, man. That's the crazy part. You don't. And I swear, like, the kids, like, their moms would come back either super happy or super sad, or, like, mad that I said something.
Exactly, right? And it's kind of like, the where you really can plant the seed is like 3 to 5 year olds, right?
Yeah. That's where it starts, right there. Yeah, and because 2 is when they start learning right from wrong, but they can't understand. They don't grasp the concept
or the why.
Yeah. It's just like,
see, most of the stuff that I plant the seed for with kids is more of like silly shit, though. So like, I show up one day with 2 mismatched socks, right?
Oh, I love it.
I like that.
Check this out. This kid was like, hey, Will, or Mr. Will, or Mr. Bernard the Nomad, or like all the different names I have. I was Princess Cucumber last week, right? Mm-hmm. Of like, hey, Will, why are you wearing 2 different socks? And I was like, if you wear 2 different socks, it means you're having a good day. So this camper came back to camp every day for the rest of the week.
This is
wearing
so powerful.
Different colored socks. So I was like, oh my God, I have changed this camper's life.
Bruh.
And that's gonna stay.
And that's such a life hack.
To this day,
you still rocking it, bro.
You sell it here first.
To this day.
Oh, is that too loud?
I wear different colored socks. Yeah, it's probably too loud, but you know, we'll work with it. Right. I wear different colored socks because of that moment, right? And so this camper, I've seen her year in and year out, and year after year after year after year, and I built such a great connection with her. And different colored socks.
Seriously.
Every single time. It's like, I've changed this camper's life.
I wonder what she got out of that. Because like it was kind of like
you're having a good day.
I mean,
does she only have good days?
That power, just that power to do that and to make a day a good day.
Yeah.
By that habitual action that you're doing. And then it's reinforced every single day, either consciously or subconsciously.
Yeah, that's where I was at. That's where I was getting at. Like,
subconsciously, she's gonna have a better day.
Man.
But like in the same way, you're talking about how music is this big marketing scheme, but then you can flip that narrative.
Yeah, exactly.
And make it an asset of like, what are you trying to do is like you're trying to market the light,
Yeah.
right? Like that message.
Because
that you're
that's
bringing
the
to
thing.
table.
Like there is, and I'm not even saying like I'm a saint. Like
Nah, but
I got
it's
some
that
issues, you know. But like it is it's literally intention is what gets me.
intention
Like,
is everything.
that's what all it is, man. I don't care like how angry of a person you are, how depressed of a person you are. Like, why? What is making you so angry? Oh, I just want to change lives. Like, what's making you so sad? I just wish I could change lives. You know what I mean? Like, it's like that. The intention is what gets them. Why I see the golden in it. You know, so like, and of course, like the overall goal is being happy, of course, man. But I'd be damned if I was always happy, man. Because that doesn't show that I'm growing.
Exactly, and so like now we're getting into like what is happiness and what's the real nuance of what you're chasing versus like what you're experiencing. And I personally am a big believer in like eudaimonia, which is like this Greek word that more roughly translates into human flourishing, right? That's what I'm about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like happiness is a mood, but like happiness is this big goal, right? But how do you do that? It's about doing the thing that you love for its own sake.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, definitely.
You know, whatever charges your batteries, just doing that.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's living in your truth.
It's like kind of like a relationship.
Yeah. But like it's a relationship with yourself.
Yeah, yeah. And you like treating like that same like I guess basic method of like dating or in a relationship. It's that same thing, but like I like
Dude,
that.
you get quiet up here and everything changes.
Yeah, I know.
Dude,
that's
it's
so true.
like
That's so true.
That is true for sure.
Yeah.
So let's like get into the nitty gritty of what you're doing in an artist and how that kind of correlates to like an entrepreneurial grind, because that's a big part of our audience. When it comes to music and how do you take that message and kind of bring it out, we were talking a little bit of how that kind of feels like a 3-step process of like creating and like synthesizing like what you're feeling to like actual like word, then going and taking that word and making something out of it that's tangible, right? That's like the production aspect of it. And then after you take that, right, and then distributing it toward the people who are either primed or priming and then delivering the people that you want to hear it, right? What is your experience when it comes to like building that business and that kind of delivery system?
I think the creative process is not really a struggle for us. So our biggest, honestly, we're really at the step where we are trying to like, because empathizing with our audience is already something we do naturally. We didn't have to read a book to know that.
Yeah,
you know what
but
I mean?
that's like if you can do that, everything
Yeah,
scales.
everything kind of does its thing, right?
Yeah.
So, but I still want to. With me, like I'm not a patient person, so I want to reach these goals tomorrow. You know what I mean? So, and by doing that for me is the distribution process, which I really don't necessarily understand. I know about like going on landing pages and paying whatever amount of money for the landing pages. I know about stuff like that, which is semi-helpful if, you know what I mean, you want to reach your goal tomorrow. But, like, it's like, I don't know. I really want to try to find a more organic approach into distributing our music besides, like, of course, like putting it on Spotify and stuff like that's going.
But like nowadays, with how much supply and demand there is, like you can't just put something up on SoundCloud and people are.
And then exactly, right.
Like, that doesn't work.
Like anymore. I feel like Spotify will probably give you a guaranteed of 1,000 views, and that sounds like a lot.
But it's really not.
No, no, not at all.
Like you can't monetize hardly anything from that.
Yeah,
and
it sucks because on SoundCloud it actually kind of is.
Really?
Yeah, it actually. I felt like
what's the big metric difference there between views on Spotify or listens on Spotify versus listens on Cloud?
I think SoundCloud is a lot. It used to be at the time where I was using it. It was more convenient. Than Spotify. SoundCloud was more like, okay, like I can just log in. You know what I mean? But I think you got to do like a print, like. You know what I'm saying? Like the premium and all that stuff with it. And I think it was just more like inconvenient, but at the time being of having it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that was when I was using SoundCloud. now that I'm on Spotify, I'm like, well, Spotify has a lot more of a quality
Like
approach.
user experience,
Like
right?
I don't. So I'm just like, I'd rather quality over quantity. I don't care about like how many people see it. It's like I'm worried about like engagements and stuff like that, and like who all,
Because
and I
that's
feel
like the actual interactions that you can build off
yeah, and
of.
I think Spotify gets that.
Because people listen to a lot of music, and not everyone is fans of old, like big following fans, paying fans of the music they listen to. And how do you separate an ideal demographic from an overall landscape of listeners?
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, man, we're just basically at that point where like it's not. We don't want to treat this like all respect to the underground, but we don't want to treat it like it's an underground project because it really isn't.
You want to bring the light to people. So like,
I have underground projects. I have projects I want to work on that I don't expect to blow up or nothing like that. But like this one is not about me, so therefore I want it to be out there. Rather than all my other personal projects, I could care less if it's on SoundCloud or because I'm not worried about all that. But this like the distribution on this one is super important because it's basically for a wider audience. You know what I mean? It's not.
like just to like add some value from what I've been hearing, a brief conversation, like a big strategy of yours on the distribution game is doing gigs.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Tell me about that. Like, what do you like about that? What do you hate about that?
I always saw myself as a performer, man, before any of this, really. Like, I always wanted to do some type of performance, whether that was in front of a camera or in front of a microphone. I think I just picked, the music just, gravitated to me like that. So, what the show is, that is my, simply, like, I'm a nitty-gritty, like, it's my strong suit. You know what I mean? Like, that is where if no one likes my music, no one really appreciates it, I could at least give them an opportunity to by performing it, because now they see where I'm coming from in full flesh. Yeah. They're not going over a monitor or a speaker or a monitor, like listening to like, oh, this is dope. Like I'm approaching them that same authentic feeling I had.
You get them both with the vibe of like what you're delivering, not just with like the music plus lyrics.
Yeah, exactly. And so with performance and distributing from performances, I definitely can get them engaged more that way.
How much interaction do you have with your audience post-gig?
Depends on that gig, man. It depends on my mood, too, because I get very, very nervous every performance, and I probably had like over 100 performances.
Wow.
That's sick, yeah.
Yeah, so, and I've never not gotten nervous every time. It might not be, I might have you know what I mean? It might not be a full week or it might not be a full month, but I just know right before I get on that stage, I get real nervous. So
well,
I don't know.
That's to say, like, nervous is a bad thing. Nervous isn't a bad thing. Nervous is a good thing, especially the way that I look at it. Like, again, I don't get on stage for music, but when I did get on stage, it was, this isn't nervousness. This is excitement. The feeling like that anxious, I'm feeling right now is not anxiousness. It's not nervousness. Yeah. It is excitement.
Anticipation.
And I am interpreting it as nervousness. Yeah. But it's actually excitement. Yeah. And you tell yourself
I feel like you'll be
times.
More nervous about something you don't want to do,
Exactly. It's
like,
excitement.
Like an interview.
Yeah, like that's something you're like, but like when it comes to like, something you love, like, yeah, you're right, man. Like it's not
excitement. You're excited to go out on stage. It's just that little pump of adrenaline, that little extra something of like, oh shit, I'm actually gonna do this.
Right.
And it all hits you at once, and your brain just doesn't know how to interpret it, right? But you got to think of it as that's excitement. So in that sense, that nervousness is good, right? It's also the fact of like, if you never get nervous, you get comfortable.
Yep.
And if you get too comfortable, things will go back.
Actually, on stage,
comfort is the worst.
As hell, wobbling around, thinking that
you don't want to get too comfortable. You want to be comfortable.
Yeah.
But you don't want to go out there in sweatpants and gym clothes.
With comfort comes complacency, man.
You still want to be on top of it, and that little bit of nervousness and that little bit of excitement, that pushes you to stay on top of things. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's good, man. Honestly, now that we cleared that up, because I'm sure, like over here, every show, I was like that, man. But yeah, that's definitely true. Because once I get on that stage, like no one can really tell. I can tell that I'm nervous by looking at it, but no one can really tell that I'm nervous.
Well, it's like it's in.
Yeah, exactly. So. Yeah, but
I'm sure as soon as you like start spitting, it all goes.
It all goes. Yeah. By those first like
all...
4 or 5 bars, I'm like, yeah, this is.
You're in. This is me. This is where I'm supposed to be right now. Yeah.
Exactly. Because I know once I get on that stage, I'm like, I don't want to get off now. You know what I mean? And then sometimes, like, if I really feel that way, that's when I really start talking to the audience. So it makes it seems a lot shorter because I'm now engaging. You know what I mean? And I'm like getting them into it. But like at the same time, it's like, I don't know, like it.
Are you seeing like areas where you have more of a connection with your audience versus other parts of either your performance or like how you're going about
it really comes on days. It comes on days because I've actually did the same performance back to back, like at the web. They call it web stack. Okay. And it's in Webster Groves, and basically I performed twice. So the first day and the second day. Okay. And so like it was the first day I did it, I was like, you know, I was good. I was cool, and I'm like talking to the crowd or whatever. I even cut songs short because I was talking. You know what I mean? Like it was like I wanted to like get more engaged, and then the second day I was like, not about it. You know, I was just kind of just getting straight to the point, doing more songs, but I'm just like back to back on the song. So I think it doesn't depend on the crowd. It depends on me, and like what happened before that moment of me being on stage. So that's another thing I love learning about myself is just figuring out like what it is because it's always something different, always.
Your voice too loud, you better watch your tone. I hold this crown if you watch my throne. I toss your phone, I lost it, I know. I crash your car if you cross my road. Whoa, can't put it together if I said it already. My karma got it coming if it's coming out the giving. You can tell me rest easy when the pain hit heavy. When you catch me, it'll be before the fall. I get it, I get it.
Yeah. What's our outro? Guys, thank you so much for watching. Again, my name's Will.
This is Rob.
And this is Q Houston of Kill 'Em All.
And
this is the Tricast Experience.
Bye.
That was a little impromptu, but I